A few weeks ago, I posted on my blog about the Nazarite Vow, and I gave the history of it as well as its protocol to follow it and some of my own experiences with this vow. Now, inadvertently, I had taken this vow a long time ago, many years ago, not knowing that the Lord was taking me through each of the three main protocols to follow it, and later revealed it to me. But initially, as a feminine woman, I wanted to keep my hair long and not cut it. It's very interesting that in my experience, I've seen other cultures as they age keep their hair long, and I'm referring specifically to the women as opposed to Americans. It has been the American culture as a woman ages for her to cut her hair, even when she's younger, but especially when she gets older, to signify her age. And I've noticed other cultures, not necessarily races, because this is a cultural thing, but other cultures such as Filipino, Thai, Italian, Mexican, and Indian, etc. I've seen them keep their hair long, and I looked up some statistics on the web, and I found out that in the US alone there are over 165 million women, and just about 60 million of them get several haircuts a year. That's at least 1/3, and that's a lot. And I think it ties into the feminist view, because I was looking at that view and looking at how many women consider themselves feminists, and globally that figure was about 53%. And the way they define feminism is having equal rights for a woman as they do for a man. And that was the extent of the question that was asked to women in different countries about if they considered themselves if they considered themselves a feminist or not. And surprisingly, the top of that list had India at 83%, and next was China at 74%, and then Italy at 70%. And so, interesting, the US was only 61%. So I was considering why many people in the US specifically, since I was born into this country, why they feel a need to cut their hair several times a year. And I think it's based on the hair industry and stylists that promote getting haircuts, because that is another source of income for them, which I can understand, a business branding out and increasing their income. But as a feminine woman, I think it's very important for us to maintain the length of our hair even as we age. And I believe that hair is very symbolic. There is a lot of energy in hair. Hair is a woman's beauty and symbolizes her power, her strength, and her covering. It's also interesting that I found Apostolic Pentecostals have a policy that women should keep their hair long. And they base it on a few scriptures that Paul wrote specifically to churches based on their women, and at that time, how to conduct themselves with their adornment and makeup and hair. And so they base it on that, and they still have that rule that women should keep their hair long. And so, being a feminine woman, I wanted to keep my hair long, as well as I want to stay away from alcohol because I felt it wasn't becoming of a feminine woman. And I have always been, as a child, freaked out by anything dead things. It could be an insect, it can be an animal, it could be a person, whether on TV or in reality. I was always freaked out, and surprisingly, these are the three main stipulations about keeping the Nazarite vow. And I will have a link below to my blog that goes into detail about this vow, and like I said, the history and specific scriptures that detail its regulation, as well as my experience with it. But I'm curious how many people globally consider themselves not only a feminine woman, but have taken the Nazarite vow, whether knowingly or unknowingly. If you know of anyone who has, I'm very interested in connecting with them. And I have a challenge for you. If you are a woman and you consider yourself feminine, if you would join me in this vow. And if you would, please comment below, and on social media, tag me at The Feminine Princess. Use the hashtag Nazarite Vow so I can connect with you.